Play Until We Lose is back in action, and in today's video, we are going to be doing the series in the VK7201K, a Tier 10 German tech tree heavy, a vehicle that features some of the worst DPM currently available, 2,400 if you're running Rammer, but I'm not, so we got about 2,200 effective damage per minute, but what we don't have in DPM, we have in a big alpha. We have 640 damage per shot, while also featuring tungsten rounds. Tungsten shells have the ability to deal 115% on average damage. What that means is normally 640 turns into about 710 to 730. With an HE, you can deal upwards of 1100. It's kind of insane. Tungsten rounds are, they're pretty nasty. When you add that into the fact this vehicle has a massive chunk of hit points, a lot of armor for the average player to deal with, and pretty good hull-down capabilities, it's actually a pretty tough vehicle to fight. But it's a German super heavy, which means it's limited by its mobility, which is why I think doing a Play Until We Lose series in a VK72 will actually be a rather enjoyable and interesting one to perform it in, because it's not a tank that I would consider to be the best by any means. In fact, I'd probably consider this to be one of the lesser of influential heavies. So, up against us, we have an enemy VK72, an E75, Contra 1 Mark II, and an IS-7 when it comes to heavily armored vehicles. They have two Waffenträgers, and they also have a Patton. So they got a lot of death is the best way to describe it. The other problem is the majority of our team is not going towards A. Well, actually, sorry, they're not going towards C. They're going towards A. So what we're going to do is we're very early on going to help our Sheridan and get some spots over towards Seaside. While it's not usually good advice to not follow your mediums, it is good advice to at least get some scouts. My teammates are directly behind me, and we can see that. If I do get pushed, it's fairly common sense that my team should at least be able to shoot the things that push me. So because of that, I'm actually not too worried about being flanked here. This is one of the maps that actually has rare cover from the rest of your team. We're going to aim it on that Contra Caro and get a pretty nice pen. But we already see the tanks rolling around from behind, that being the E75. But he gets shot once, plus our E75 is hopefully going to pen him. I'm going to allow him to aim in on him, but I guess he's just not going to shoot, and he's going to shoot me at Breh. Well, either way, the C75 is obviously learning his lesson fairly quickly on why you don't do the maneuver that he just decided to choose. We can see the enemy VK72 camping in the back. How surprising! What we also know is that the IS-7 is pushing quite aggressive. So at this point, we know the waffles have been spotted. We know where the VK72 is, so there's really not much we need to be worried about. We're going to aim it on the side of the VK. There you go. Nice 680 damage shot. And we're going to back on up. We have already been able to deal a solid chunk of damage, and because we know where the enemy team is and where our team is, this is actually a pretty solid game. You can see how actually not sticking with the team has turned out to be a very solid approach to this game, and has really allowed our team to actually get a very, very easy holding grasp on the rest of the enemy. So we got the Patton off to the side. We're going to aim in on that Patton. I'm not going to bother with an HE shell. We're just going to slap him, and I mean, that slapped him really, really hard for 700. The IS-7's in front of us. We can already see the Contra Caro, and I don't know where the enemy waffle is, but I'm not too worried about him randomly popping up behind us. So at this current moment, we are going to drive for the IS-7. We're going to get a shell into his rear, and then in the process, ram the Patton. So we've been able to finish off the enemy Patton. We've also been able to shoot the IS-7. Now we're going to aim towards the Contra Caro. Now, I know that our armor is strong enough that a vehicle like the CC is going to struggle to pen us. So, instead of shooting his vehicle, we're going to aim in on the rear of the IS-7, once again getting a nice 640H roll. At this point in time, I'm hoping that my T-30 is going to deal with that vehicle, and we're going to ram the enemy Contra Caro. If our T-30 doesn't deal with the IS-7, it's going to be rather frustrating. But, looks like he is, and let's hope he gets the clear. Let's aim in a shell on the CC, and there you go, the T-30 gets the shot in as well. So already this has turned out to be a very, very solid game. We are upwards of, I don't exactly know how much damage, but a lot, and we're going to win. Not only on base cap, but just about everything else. T-30 finishes off the CC, And all that's left is the Waffenträger, who is 180 health, and he's obviously screwed. So, a very, very easy first game. You can see how we used map knowledge, how we used holding, and our big alpha to take advantage of the enemy. And we didn't even really need to bleed any health for it, which is the best part. So, yeah, that was a pretty easy game, I guess, to say. Victory! I would guess we did around 45 to 5,000 damage. Oh, 5,500. That's more than I thought. I knew we did a decent chunk, I just didn't know we did that decent of a chunk. So, pretty solid game for the VK. We were also able to make 138,000 credits due to getting a first class and a high caliber, so pretty solid. Let's keep on going, see if the VK-72 can get another banger out. This battle, up against us, we have a 268 version 4. That is going to be a threat, not to us, but to our teammates. And that's really the best way to describe it. People don't know how to deal with V4s, and they hit really hard. And if you allow a tank destroyer like the 268 to destroy my team, and I'm the only player left, that's not actually going to be too good for us. So you always got to keep that in mind. Now, it looks like a lot of our team is going towards base A, which is actually good. It seems like people are knowing what to do. Okay, so we got the V4. And an E75, 50 TP Proto, M5 Yo ST1. They got a lot of tier 9 heavies. All of them are strong. None of them are actually weak heavies. We have a Motion, which is pretty good. 50 TP Proto is very nice. He's in platoon with the Type 61. I guess we'll have to see how that player performs. But our Jagdtiger is deciding to go alone, which is not usually the best decision. Now, crossing this gap here can be a little bit suspect because of that bush right there. Any tank that's fast enough to get in that spot can very easily catch you off guard. But, as you can see, looks like we're completely fine. The 4005 has literally killed himself. Not exactly sure why he did that, but he did. So, at this point, we can see that the Kampfpanzer 50-ton is going to die. He's going to be rushed by our team, and I'm not actually going to bother pushing over towards base A anymore. It's a waste of time. So we're going to cut low. This is one of the fastest ways to get over towards the other side of the map. We can see that the Yo is right in front of us, so we're going to keep on going. Keep on going. Hello, Mr. Yo. How are you doing, good sir? Alright, let's put on our tungsten shells and bonk this player for 780 damage. Now we're just going to hide our weak lower plate on the little bit of terrain there, and we're going to angle our tank so that this Yo can't shoot us. To be honest, I don't even know what this guy's doing, but it's fine with me. Any easy shot is an easy shot. Let's reload. Let's get our HE. Bonk! 1,058 damage into this enemy M5 Yo. And clearly he doesn't know where he's aiming, but apparently neither does our Type 68. Well, that's good. We were able to clear one very deadly opponent on the enemy team. Now we've got the enemy 268 version 4. Now the V4 obviously has a big alpha, but so do we. And we're a tank destroyer, only has, what, 1,900 health. We, as a heavy, have 2,900 health. This is obviously a massive advantage, and it allows us to bully tanks like the 268 version 4 to basically just dying. So we're going to actually ignore that tank for right now, because obviously the V4 reverse is at 20. And it's a waste of my time to try and chase a vehicle that's just going to keep on running and running and running. So instead, we're going to go for the 75. We're going to get a nice shot to the side of his turret. And just like that, we are already over 3,000 damage. Now, at this point, I don't really care if the 75 shoots me because we have so much health. So I'm going to give the 50 TP a little love tap. We get 16 damage from that. And we're going to go head over towards the enemy 268 version 4. This player is going to be looking at our type. And as we can see, the type has been able to get a nice I don't know, flank on him. Sorry, my brain kind of blanked there. It's 5 in the morning. I've got very little sleep. So if it does take me a bit of time to come up with some of the words I'm saying, that is why. But either way, we are at 3,500 damage, and I mean, just the easiest victory ever. Once again, we were able to use our mobility, our HE, and just about everything else to our knowledge to get a very easy win out here. We got the enemy minnow off to the side, and boom! 700 damage shell with our tungsten into his tank. So, very solid game again. We did, it looks like, upwards of 4,200-ish damage, which is very nice. Yep, 4,288. We didn't block that much, but it didn't really matter. We were still able to use our alpha and get some big slaps. You can notice the difference between getting a second class and no high caliber, or, you know, awards in general, how they affect your credits. We only made 55,000 credits this game, and that's also with a epic credit booster on. So we probably only actually made about 15,000 credits. Tier 10 is really not a good tier for making credits in general. So, next game. Up against us, we have a 113, T110E3, Jagdpanzer E100, Tortoise. That is 4 heavily armored vehicles. They also have an ST-1. I don't know why I missed that. That's actually 5 heavily armored vehicles, the only mobile tanks being a T-54 and a Progetto 65. So I'm not too worried about the mediums this game. I'm more focused on obviously dealing with the heavies, especially tanks like the Jag and E3, both incredibly strong and hard-hitting vehicles. So early on in this battle, we are going to play a little passive. Not super passive, like I'm still going to play quite aggro up to the midline here, but I'm not going to put myself in any spots where a Yag can just randomly roll around a corner and shoot me. So we're going to aim it on the ST-1, we're going to put on our Tungsten, and there you go. Nice 700 damage shot right into his vehicle already. This is a great use of our Alpha, especially for punishing vehicles early game. Now you'll notice that we don't have a lot of support from our team right now. The enemy ST-1 is actually playing quite aggressive. We're not able to get a shell into his vehicle as of yet, and my teammate's actually being quite badonkered. So right now, I'm going to take apart the situation carefully. We got the ST-1 off to the side, aiming, bonk, there you go. Very high roll as well, 760, and with that tracking shot, our Tortoise was able to finish that player off. The thing I'm worried about right now is tanks that are not spotted. We don't know where the Jag is, we don't know where the E3 is, and these are both very deadly vehicles. But what we do know is that the WZ-113 is right in front of us, and he's trying to deal with the Tortoise. So we're going to aim in a shell, a heat shell, and just like that, right into the 113's upper plate. It's a great example of where this tank can just hit so dang hard. But just as my predictions were suspected, we can see that a lot of death has now been spotted. We got the Tortoise in the back, who we're actually going to aim in on. Hopefully that Tortoise backs up, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. That's all fine, though. We have so much health that I don't really care about trading a shot with even a vehicle like the enemy E3. We're able to literally just tank the shell, no problems whatsoever. Now we can just sit behind the building. At this point, yeah, what are you going to do, T-54? Nothing is the correct answer. The Yo does bounce one of the shells, but that's fine, because that player is still dead. We have the Yag off to the side, which is obviously a bit of a threat. And we also got the E3, but I don't really think it's too much of a problem, because we can just chill here for right now. If that Yag tries to roll around the corner at any point, we should be able to get a pretty easy shot into his vehicle. E3 has fired as well, it looks like. So we can just chill here for now. In fact, I don't really think that Yag is much of a threat. So we're going to ignore him, and we're going to head over towards the T110E3. I'm hoping that our Foch is able to finish that player off. It's going to be really unlucky if that Yag's staring at us when we roll around, and he is. Well, we actually got pretty lucky. He managed to bounce us, which is pretty lucky, but that shot was actually bad. That was my fault too, I will admit that. I could have aimed that shot like 10,000 times better and just completely screwed it, but it's not too bad. The Yag can't shoot us from where we're currently at, and the E3 is going to shoot my teammates. So we're going to aim in a HE shell, and we're not able to pen it actually, so we'll just fire standard, but that's fine. We're already up to 3,300 damage, and I mean, again, like, the E3 can't do anything to us. We have such a long reload that I doubt this E3 even cares about us. I'm just going to chill over here, and in 3, 2, 1, let's just poke the E3. There you go. Nice 644 tap. This player is obviously now a one-shot for the rest of our team. We're going to reload again. I'm just going to chill here for now. Let's reload. We got 5 more seconds left. The Yag was able to finish off my teammate, but I'm not going to worry about the E3 as of right now, because I don't think that player's a threat. We're going to get a nice heat pen into the enemy tank there, and the Yag is now going to turn for the Object 704. At this point, we can use... actually nothing, because we won on base cap, but I was going to say we can use our Foch as leverage to kill the Yag with the help of our 704, and then kill the E3. Either way, pretty easy game. I will admit we messed up that one shell on the E3 there. I aimed a teeny bit high, and because of the lag on the EU server, I just didn't correct it properly in time, but we still did 4,400 damage, we still won, we did everything we needed to, and another very easy victory. 53,000 credits, again, not that many credits, but I'll take a win when I can get a win. Let's keep going. So far, this has been very, very solid. We've got a lot of wins in a row, but only time can tell how many wins we get. Now, what do we have up against us for mobility? It's just to Skoda T50, and we can actually see that if we lower the brackets. So, just one medium. What that means is that it is more predictable to be seeing heavies to cross over towards, like, encounter areas there. That's where I would expect them, more towards base A. So, what we are going to do You're going to cut directly to this bush here and try to spot any of the heavies that try to cross. As we can see, we've detected a T-57 heavy. We've also spotted the IS-8, which we get a nice 686 damage shot into, and in the process also spotting the IS-7. This is really important because it gives our team early information that they need to take advantage of. So we're going to reload. We do have some mediums, which is obviously good, and hopefully these mediums are going to help us out. We got the IS-8 in the back, who... There you go. Nice. 624 shot, finishing him off. You can also see, once again, we've spotted that T-57 heavy. He's decided that crossing is not the best decision, so we're actually assisting our team massively. We've done 1,000 assistance damage at this point. Because we now know the 57 heavy is dead, there's nothing he can do. Because the IS-8 is dead, all that's left at this point is a Skoda T-50 in the back and an IS-7 in front of us. So we're going to go low from the cover of our team with the 777 and the rest, and we are going to chill right over here. Now, if that Skoda decides to... we're not even going to worry about the Skoda. I was going to say if he decides to poke us, we'll shoot him, but it doesn't really matter. The IS-7 does pen us right in the middle bar. It's one of the only weak spots this tank actually has, but it's not like it really matters. We can already see I've assisted 1,400 damage at this point. We're going to just get another easy slap right into the... well, let me just back up so we can guarantee the pen. There you go. Nice 550 damage shell. Just like that, we're not up to a lot of damage, but we're at 2,500, which is more than enough, especially because we've assisted about 1,400. Effectively, we're at about 3,600, almost 4K this game, so pretty sweet. I don't think we're going to get any more out. Canal is a very large map, where mobility is much more important than, well, a tank like the VK. But we were still able to use our limited mobility to spot the enemy team, and give very, very valuable information of the 57 heavy crossing, the rest of the enemy like that, and actually get them killed. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get any more damage out this game. I'm really hoping we can possibly get this Object 704. The 752 shoots his clip, and the Object 84 is now pushing in. Come on. I'm hoping we can get there. Come on. Come on, aiming, and, no, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to hit him on Forb. Oh, actually, we were able to hit him. I'm surprised, but we got an extra shell out there. I'll take it. Not the end of the world for damage, especially because all the other games we've been doing like 4K, 5K anyway, so it's not like it makes too much of a difference. So, 2,600 damage and 1,400 dealt. That is 4,000 combined. Still a very solid chunk. And as you can see, we actually made 54,000 credits. Wargaming counts assistance damage as basically equal to damage dealt, which is good. It's something that a lot of people, especially skilled players, don't think about too much. But it is definitely something you should keep in mind. Combined damage is very important, and it's something that you should be proud of. If you're giving your team spots, you are technically giving your team the win. Me spotting that 57 heavy across the map and allowing my TDs in the back to shoot that player helped me and the rest of the team greatly by not having to deal with him late game. That is the exact same situation for the IS-8, the Skoda T-50, having early game spots and having people get bled off those spots is incredibly useful information. So, here we are, next battle. Up against us, we got an AMX-50B and a Chieftain Mark 6. We can see that the Chieftain and E-50M are in platoon, which means it is likely that they might actually end up going towards medium side. We have a YAG, E-100, and Chieftain Mark 6 for heavies. We can see that our E-100 is running the stock gun, although it's kind of hard to point that out, judging that the YAG just went right in front of him. And we can also see that our YAG is no camo, which is not good news. What is good news is that the YAG does have at least 2,300 hit points, just about, which means he does have equipment on his vehicle. It's just not running a camo, which is rather interesting. But as you can see, that is indeed the stock gun for the E-100. If we don't spot any heavies over towards the side of the map, especially like our Chieftain, I'm going to instantly bail over towards base B, which is what we're going to start doing already. Yes, perfect example. We can see the 50B and all the enemy heavies are spotted over there. Because of the thought process I have here, we're actually going to be able to help out our team instead of having them get caught out, which you'll normally see happen, especially because I'm in a slow super heavy. We should be able to get here fast enough that we might be able to just support them in this crossing. So that's exactly what I'm going to try to do right here. Let's put on our tungsten and boom, there you go. 720 damage shot into that enemy Chieftain Mark 6. Just like that, we've been able to give our team massive help. Our bat chat is off to the side, and he's obviously going to try and get out. And in this process, we also have a TVP sitting back, which is actually really important. This TVP sitting back is hopefully going to help our team out in late game. So our bat chat is going to deal with that situation at hand, and, well, Right now, we're just going to wait. We know that the enemy's probably going to try and cross over here. So let's see if we can get a shell. There's the IS-4. And a nice 600 damage shot into that enemy tank. Our Bat Chat did lose a lot of health to that enemy 50B. But the good news is that in return, the Bat Chat should hopefully be able to finish off that player. But there's really only one way to find out. He does get shot, and he actually bounces the 50B in the process, which is not necessarily good. But our TVP appears like he's going to finish off that enemy player, and the Bat Chat also finishes off. So, actually pretty important. We got the Sheridan off to the side. I'm hoping that that Sheridan reverses. Come on, just back up into my line of sight. Unfortunately, it looks like that is not the case. We have the Chieftain. There you go. Nice 718 damage shell into the Chieftain. Notice how I am putting my tank in a big leverage spot. I'm allowing my TVP to reload his clip without much stress, and we are holding off the enemy heavies. I know the IS-4 is obviously a pretty big threat. We also know that the Sheridan's a pretty big threat, but I can't do much about the Sheridan right now. So currently, we're just going to distract. Sheridan is going to shoot me, but doesn't really mean anything. He can't do much to my health. So at this point, we are going to finish off the enemy IS-4, because our TVP is on a very, very long reload. So we're going to aim in on the IS-4, and in 3, 2, 1, there you go. That player is dead. Just like that, once again, this will be a victory. We were able to use our brains and notice, oh look, the enemy is in a platoon, and that platoon is running a heavy and a medium. It is most likely that they're going to be sticking together, so it would make sense that the majority of their team is going to stick together, which they did. So I'm glad we did the necessary precautions, and we were able to do a pretty solid job. The enemy Sheridan messes up his shot. Unfortunately, we are not able to hit that player as of right now. And even though it's still looking a little sussler, this isn't going to be too much of a struggle. We have our Tungsten back as it is. And at this point in time, I'm just going to try and get a shell into the enemy FV4005. We're going to put on our Tungsten and bonk. 1,135 damage. The TVP is going to get the clearing shell into that enemy player. And all that's left is the Minotauro hold down. We are going to reload. And in 5 more seconds, we're going to start driving up this hill. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. The minnow shoots, and we're going to aim in right on his hull. And there you go. Nice shot. Now, we do get penned quite hard. Not only does the Sheridan pen us with a heat shell, but we also get penned by the minnow for 2 shots, which brought us quite low. But let's be real. Our TVP still has 1,100 health, the Sheridan has 62, and the minnow is a 1-shot. So at this current time frame, there's really not much for me to be worried about, especially because I can just sit right here. And as we can see, that Sheridan literally can't do anything. So, we win. Again, we're up on base cap. The TVP's got health. I'm just going to wait. This TVP can do whatever he wants. Oh, there you go. Minnow gets spotted. And at this point, now because this TVP has given me the information I need, we can start making our way up a bit more aggressive. Now, because we are in a 150mm tank, all we need to do is aim an HE on this minnow, and we should be able to finish this player off. So we're going to go wide, but we're going to do it safely. Aim in an HE, and there you go. Just like that, the minnow has been cleared. So, again, another victory. We definitely were the reason that game was a win because of the thought process I had and the positioning that I took. I will also admit that the TVP was another 100% factor on why we won. The TVP, it wouldn't even matter if the TVP was in a Patton or, any other tank, right? It was the fact that this player was smart enough to drive behind me, let me take the shots for him, let me distract, and then once that happened, he went behind, got the shells out, and did his job. That is what you should do as a TVP player. You never want to be the front line. You always want to be mid or back line. Wait for people to make mistakes and then punish them for those mistakes. So, it's been going pretty well so far, not going to lie. Up against us, we got an E100, 60 TP, and a 183 Contra 1 Mark II. That's what I would say. Not necessarily the 183 is a heavily armored vehicle, but it is a tank that hits hard and is not very mobile. So that's the best way to describe it. They only have 2 mediums, being a 907 and 54. It would not surprise me to see the enemy heavies driving towards base C. I'm going to give my team some words of wisdom and tell them to go towards A. Even though I do predict that their team is going to go towards C, it is still smarter to go towards A, think about your situations, and then act upon them. It's never a good idea just to go full balls to the walls, blazing in glory. So we are going to slowly make our way up this ramp. As I said, I predict they're going to be going over towards B. We can already see the 183 spotted in the back, and there is a Contra Caro, interestingly enough, over here. I don't know if the 907 is going to be in front of us. Doesn't look like he is. I was actually expecting that 907 to be, but he is actually. He's right in front of us. We activate our Tungsten and get a massive 700 damage shot. Now we're going to angle our tank towards him, while also looking at the threats off to our side. 907 clearly is a little lacking in the brain department, but that's fine with me. We're going to chill over here. The T-54 literally cannot do anything to us, and just like that, the T-54 has now been cleared. This is why you always go towards medium side. Any tanks that go towards medium side while the rest of their team goes to C are screwed, and because of this, we were easily able to take advantage of them. Sure, our IS-8 died, but, I mean, really, was it a loss? No. That IS-8 wasn't going to do much. Let's see if we can spot that 183 off to the side. There he is. Aiming, aiming, aiming. You can see the VK obviously has a very long aiming time, and there's no point to snap a shell. Always take your time when using a vehicle like this. Now, the bad news is that our team's actually struggling quite a bit to get these clears, but we are up on base cap, which is obviously quite important. But oh boy, our 183 is not doing all too happy. Okay, well, let's reload. Let's aim an HE shell onto the rear of the 907, and bonk. Unfortunately, we can see the HE shell did not end up penetrating the enemy player. But that's fine. We are still in a situation where we have plenty of health. The 907 is not very healthy, and we should be okay. So we're going to chill right here. And actually, this 907 has basically screwed himself, if I'm going to be completely real. I don't know what he's going to do. Yeah, he could have left. He could have, but he didn't. So at this point, we are now up on base capture. We've also killed their mobility. Now they have heavies, a one-shot 183, and the rest of their team, I don't exactly know where they are. But the good news is that we are in a pretty decent situation. We're going to activate our Tungsten and aim in a shell at the roof of the 4005. And just like that, 840 hit points have been stripped off of that vehicle. I clearly see that there is a 60 TP off to our side, and that is a very big threat to our team, because the 62A is now a one-shot, and the Conway is not healthy enough to really be a massive threat to this tank. With our E3 missing as well, not necessarily good for the team. But we have high pen heat, so we're able to cut directly through that 60 TP. Now, while I am worried about that 183 penning me, I'm not worried enough that I'm going to stop driving. We are going to keep on going here. We're going to full speed ram the 60 and hit him what I would presumably guess quite hard. Well, it was enough to make him a one-shot for our Conway, which is all that really matters. At this point, we're up to 950 on the base cap, and it really doesn't matter what happens at this point. We are going to win this battle. I don't know if the enemy E100 is AFK. I really haven't seen him the whole game, but it doesn't matter. A win's a win. This is why you don't go town. This is why you go towards caves. You kill the opponents there, and then you deal with the rest. Honestly, the only reason that game was even slightly close was because of the fact that our TVP didn't notice the 183 and got absolutely badonkered by him. Once again, another 56,000 credits. So far, we have been able to win 1, 2, 3... Oh, sorry. Let's count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row. But obviously, we're not done yet. Let's keep going and see if we can get some more wins. I am unfortunately completely out of water. And I really want water because my voice is like, so I feel like a 90-year-old man right now. I'm on no sleep. I have no water. Maybe I can drink this. Yes, let me drink my screen cleaner. Don't take that out of context. Either way, what do we have up against us? 60 TP, T110E5, T57 Heavy, a Mil-2 Yag Tiger. They only have 2 mobile tanks, T54, T92E1. Those vehicles are probably going to go to Seaside, but because they're tier 9s and because I don't worry about them too much, I am going to make my way over towards base A. Now, because I don't want to be flanked by the enemy mediums, I am going to play fairly aggressive. We're going to go wide because this is the safest route. Even though we don't get early shots on anybody crossing in the B, it's not always about getting the early game shots, it's about getting across safely and getting across fast. It's a lot faster to go across this way than the route our E100 took, although weirdly enough, our E100 hasn't spotted anything. Alright, well, there's the E5. You can see the Yag Tiger, and there's the Emil. But at this point, my thought process is already into play. E5 is going to try and poke me, and we're going to aim in a shell right on his lower plate, and boom. Nice 600 damage shot. We know that the T57 Heavy was last spotted off to the side, and there he is. Let's wiggle our tank. Hopefully we can get a bounce. There you go. One nice bounce. Let's angle again. He might load a heat shell. We're going to try and bounce. There you go. Another nice bounce. Now, I do see there is a tank behind me. We have the Emil 2, which, unfortunately, is a bit of a pain. But at the same time, we are a very heavy vehicle, and we should be able to quite easily push the Semil out into the enemy. So let's see what we can do here. We got the 57 heavy off to my side still. We are going to aim in on his tank and get a nice bonking for 650. He penned me once, but he's going to have to pen me another 2 shots. Is he going to? That is the age-old question. Well, he does manage to cut through us with a heat shell in the upper plate. It's really annoying, to be completely honest, that nobody on my team decided to help me until I died. Like, bruh, E75 and E3 both decided to push in after my death. That's really irritating. It's not like, you know, the worst thing ever, because this Yag Tiger dies for that jump, and it looks like we still are winning this, especially with the WZ here, but it was just rather irritating. In retrospect, it might have been better for me to just stay passive, but yeah, pretty irritating that we have like a full healthy 100 doing literally nothing. Even though this team was incredibly bad, it still ended up being a victory. I will say partly due to the enemy YOLOing me. The nice thing about being a German super heavy is that you got a lot of health, and you can very easily distract a large portion of the enemy team by making aggressive maneuvers. Unfortunately, that Emil 2 got behind us, and literally nobody on our team did anything to him. So yeah, I mean, the E100 was, ooh, he was a bad player. So there's not much I can really say about that game. I made a play that was too aggressive, and I can tell you why. It's because these games have been so easy, and this is something that happens a lot. Like, even when I platoon with really good players, you'll win so many games in platoon in a row that you'll literally start forgetting that you can still die. And that was one of those games where I've just won 6 in a row. I felt like I was unstoppable, made an aggressive maneuver, thought that I'd get more bounces, and thought my team would support me more, and they didn't. And because of that, I paid the price. Thankfully, it wasn't a loss. We were still able to deal 2,000 damage, which is okay. And our team was able to benefit off of what I did. We won. So it was a sus battle, but it still worked out in the end. We're not going to play super aggressive anymore, though. I will say that. I might play aggressive, but I'm not going to play like YOLOing levels of aggressive. We can see that the enemy TVP has been spotted over towards base C. Already, that gives me a pretty clear idea of where their team is. And that would be over towards base C. So we are very briefly going to step into base B and capture it. Normally, I would drive ahead and make my way over towards C quickly to try and get an early game shot off. But because of the fact that I'm trying to get wins and not damage, I'm going to play this a bit more smart. So let's see, we got the 100 off to the side, and boom, 759 damage shot into that player. And also, I don't know what that guy was shooting at, but hey, I'll take free damage whenever I can get it. We got the T-54 in front of us. Ideally, we just want to angle the vehicle like this, so it's hard for that 54 to know where to pen us. Keep on wiggling, and we could HE him, but I don't think it's worth it. We'll just fire a standard shell into his tank for 750 damage. Alright, well now we're going to chill right here, and I don't really think there's much he's going to be able to do, especially with a 183 killing him. Bye-bye. Okay, well this has turned out to be pretty solid so far. We got the enemy E100 off to the side and the VK. I'm going to ignore the VK and shoot a shell into the E100. Most specifically because I don't need to shoot premium into the E100 lower plate, where I do for that VK72. So it's much smarter to just shoot the E100 when we know we can guarantee the pen. Alright, VK fired. We know that this E100 is not the brightest bulb, and, well, he's already dead from apparently our Sheridan. So at this point, we're just going to drive on up and see if we can get any more damage out. We got the Super Conch behind me, which is obviously a threat, but nothing that I'm too worried about. We're just going to aim it on the lower plate of the VK, angle the vehicle, then we're going to angle it towards us here. We're going to make it a little hard for him to pen us. Problem is, oh, nice, we did get a bounce. The problem is we got the IS-8 on our side. I don't want to be shot by the IS-8, so we're just going to back up right here, and I think this is a fairly good spot. Now, you can actually overmatch the engine deck of the VK, but apparently my shell went just a little too high. Well, that sucks. I mean, we'll just back up a teeny bit. I'm not worried or anything like that, especially with this guy having a damaged ammo rack. Yeah, it's a pretty easy win at this point. The Sheridan might actually out-reload us, which is kind of sad. But either way, we're going to aim in a shell on his turret cheek. There you go. Nice pen. I don't really care about the IS-8, I'm going to be completely honest. I'd much rather shoot at a tank never mind. I was going to say I'd much rather shoot at a tank like the Super Conqueror, but the guy literally just got turned into Swiss cheese in front of us. But you know what I would much rather shoot? Not that, apparently. I was going to say I'd much rather clear the TVP because it's a super deadly tank and a big threat, but in return my shell did not even go close to where we aimed. But that's fine. This is obviously still going to be a win. We're going to finish off the Super Conquer in just a moment. We're going to shoot him right in the upper part of his superstructure. Guarantee it. We don't need to really rush the shot. So, yeah, pretty easy. We've dealt already 3,500 damage anyway. So it's not like this was a tricky battle. So all we need to do at this point is make our way over towards the Foch. We got the Yag Tiger on the rear. And, oh, please, please let me do this. Come on. Hooah! Oh, well, I guess we're not able to shoot him, but we did 1,150. Oh, my God. Oh, that is amazing. Oh, my. Okay, well, that still worked out pretty well. In the end, we were able to get a very solid chunk of damage. Let's see how much damage. 4,695, while also blocking 2,380, and somehow this was the game we got the ace in. Rather interesting, but you know what? I'll take a win when I can get a win. Oh, accidentally full screen my game. Let's fix that. There you go. Well, let's keep going. That is 8 wins in a row. We are, I'm pretty sure, at a new record of wins for the Play to Win series at this point. So let's see if we can keep it going. Oh god, I keep messing up my screen size. Oh, okay, we're good. I run this game in windowed mode because of the fact that, well, I mean, you guys couldn't, like, this is what the game looks like full screen for me. So you guys obviously can't see the game full screened. So, for some reason, Windows has changed the way the client works and makes it now so whenever you're in, like, windowed mode, it can go blurry for a little bit, which you might be able to see on the recording. I'm not exactly sure. It's hard to tell. Either way, it doesn't really matter. We're going to do the best we can here and see if we can get some more wins. So what do we have up against us? We have an E5, 57 heavy, Type 71, Type 68. So that makes 4 heavies. They got 1 medium and 2 tank destroyers. Both incredibly strong TDs at that. Our mediums are playing fairly aggressive, but that's good because they are giving us early game spots that we very, very much need. Got the 57 heavy off to the side. Okay, so at this point in time, it's pretty clear to see that it looks like the enemy team is going off towards medium side. We're going to aim it on the 183, and I'm very glad that pens. That is going to warn that player that I'm back here, and if you're stupid, I'm going to keep shooting at you. But for now, I'm not going to worry about that person. I'm also not going to worry about the 4005 off to the side. I am going to go directly for this T110E5, as this player is quite a big threat, so let's aim it on his vehicle, and bonk. There you go. Nice 570 damage shot. I don't really care if he shoots me too. Like, our mediums need to clear this flank. So, I'm going to hold here, and it doesn't matter how much this player shoots at me, because obviously, at this point, we just need to keep shooting the C5. So we're going to aim it on his lower plate. There you go. Nice 640 damage shot. And let's just aim it on the E5 again. Doesn't look like he's much of a threat, to be real, at this point. Oh, yay, look, my game finally got HD again. Alright, well, let's see. We got the 57 heavy off to the side. He's not doing all too much. We got the 4005, who... come on. Yes, that was really important. I'm not sure why the E5 did that. That was like the worst decision he could make. He said, yes, I'm gonna shoot Droodles, and in return, die. Yeah, that wasn't the brightest decision he could have made there. Alright, we got the Leopard off to the side, and maybe, just maybe... No, that shell wasn't going to ever hit. Unfortunately, our reload is just not fast enough. We got penned by the Type 71 in our lower plate, full speed on the move, but I don't care. We have so much HP left that it really doesn't matter. Now, being in a slow tank, and seeing where our M103 is getting pushed, it would be a lot smarter to go over here to deal with that. But let's first of all HE that Type 68 to finish him off. But now we can continue making our way off to this side of the map to catch off the Type 71. I was really hoping he would jump and we would be able to ram him in the side, but it seems like that's not going to be the case. But at the same time, it really doesn't matter. At this point, the Type is, he's already pretty easy to deal with. We're just going to make our way along over here. 57 Heavy is going to shoot at him, and the Type's just going to aim at me. Hello, good sir. How are you doing, Governor? I'm going to ignore you and shoot at the 57 Heavy if I can. There you go. Nice 725 shot. And with that, the Type also got badonked. So, once again, another victory. We did 3,400 damage this game. Not a crazy amount, but, I mean, we also really didn't have the opportunity to do much damage this game. The Type pens us, and we're going to aim in an HE to guarantee the kill. And just like that, another victory. This has been one of the easiest sessions of wins I've had in a very long time. when it comes to this game. And I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's because it's very early in the morning. As I said, 6 in the morning right now. But I really can't complain. Another 45,000 credits. We're getting a lot of XP. Let's keep going. We're at 40 minutes on the clock now. Will we reach the 1 hour mark? I don't think so, but there's a possibility. Up against us, we have an IS-4, a Kranvan, T-110E4, Conqueror E-75, and a Tier 8. Interesting. Well, let's see where our team goes. We are having the IS-7 not go where we want. And with that knowledge in mind, I am not going to go where I want. Normally, I would drive over towards base A and try to shoot the heavies. But if my heavies aren't going to go there, especially my IS-7, I am not going to go fighting 4 heavies alone. We can see that E-75 is spotted in the crossing. We can also see the Conqueror spotted in the crossing. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for them to cross. We're going to aim in, and aiming, boom, 745 damage shot into that Conqueror. While I am not fast enough to spot people in that crossing, my bat chat is. And because of that, it's still very easy to use this tank and have the help of our teammates. So let's reload. Let's aim it on the enemy Sheridan, and oh, he actually penned us. Where? Interesting, in the sides. Okay, we got the Semovente off to the side over here. I'm just going to bonk him. He pens me, but I don't think that was really a positive trade for that poor Tier 8. Alright, well at this point, the Waffle's going to aim in on him. He pens the shot, and I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. We obviously know that the Conqueror was spotted off to the side. I'm not exactly sure if he's still there. Oh, there's the Conqueror. Okay. Let's back up. Maybe he's just going to keep going. Come on. Come on. You know you want to. No? Okay. Well, the Sheridan was spotted off to the side. There's really not much else to be worried about here, so I'm just going to send this Conqueror, to be completely honest. The Conch is a pretty easy shot. There you go, 570 damage. I'm not even going to bother to like use my repair kit because there's really no reason to. We're just going to put on our auto-aim so that we don't even really need to do much. The Sheridan right now is the big threat, so let's reload. 3, 2, 1, and let's aim at an HE on the Sheridan. Oh yeah, 1,095. Just like that, the enemy Sheridan has been literally demolished. So at this point, we are just going to back him up the hill. We obviously know that the Sheridan is going to be the biggest threat if I allow him to use his mobility against me. But if we load an HE shell, there's no way he's going to survive the impact, and just like that, we are still fine. Our team is able to get clears off to the side, and just like that, we are, while not in a winning situation yet, in a much better chance of winning. I know that right now the biggest threat to me is that T-110E4, and we also got a pretty healthy Kron. Oh boy, and the E-75 just went right through me. Probably, yeah, he went right through my turret, actually. That's not good for us, though. That's actually really, really bad. E4 is right in front of us. Let's get a nice tungsten shell into his vehicle, and yeah, that right there is the problem I was expecting. And the E-75 is probably going to roll off to our other side. Let's hope that we get a bounce here. Okay, E-75 missed. I'm going to aim it on the T-110E4 at this point. Let's back up. Let's see if we can get a shell. There you go. Nice shot into the E-75. Let's angle our vehicle, but as you can see, we were not able to get the bounce. Our IS-7 is the player that this game is down to. It's still very winnable. This is a full health IS-7 who, if uses his brain cells, will very easily win. Our bat chat is stock, so I don't really trust the bat chat all too much. But I do trust this IS-7 at least slightly. All he needs to do is pen the shot, which he doesn't, which is rather irritating. And now he's going to stay passive. Just go. Go. The problem with being on the EU server is I can't type in chat. Like, I would love to tell this player to go, but I can't. There you go. He finishes off the enemy E-75. At this point, all that's left is the enemy E4. Now I'm praying that our bat chat is smart enough to not allow him to HE him, and it looks like the E4 is not smart enough to even know what HE is. Our bat chat gets 1, 2, and he tries to get the third out, but he doesn't. Not really sure why he would even bother, but the good news is that the IS-7 is now going to roll around the corner, and with the E4 driving out, there you go. We won. That was a stressful game. I'm not going to lie. I was worried that our IS-7 was going to throw that, especially because of the early pathing he took and that bounce on the E-75. But he played okay, he penned his shots, and we were able to win. Once again, a very high damage game. 4,800, 1,440 blocked. Surprisingly, we only made 66,000 credits. You'd think we'd get more of a reward for how much effort we put into that battle, killing the Sheridan, dealing with the E4, and everything else, but, well, I can't complain. A win's a win. I don't know how many wins we're up to. I think it's like 9 or 10 at this point, but it doesn't really matter. E100, we got an IS-7, Object 263, IS-8, okay? So that makes 4 vehicles that are quite heavily armored, and then for mobility, they have a grill, Batchat, and T-54. Once again, the mobility they have are 2 tier 9s, so I'm not really worried about their mobility. It's a little unfortunate that... I don't know why, and I'm going to tell you this now. For anybody watching this video, and you've still stuck to this point, if you are the player that goes to middle on Yamato, stop going middle. It's such a bad position. Go to the boat and chill at the boat. It is much safer, there are much easier shots, and it is just a better overall strat. I can tell you that for a fact. I do not know why people love to go mid. I don't get it. But either way, I'm probably going to go mid, because that's an Object 263, and I can't really fight that, but it's actually perfect. It looks like we managed to juke him into making him think we're going to go mid. Then we're going to slowly reverse our tank, and let's see. Hello? Is the 263 here? He is. Hello, Mr. 263. We're not actually going to shoot you. We're going to get unlucky, and our shell's going to miss the IS-7. Okay, I mean, we're not dead, and I do have help from a waffle, so it's not like we're in the worst situation ever here, but my luck is not treating me too well. Let's reload. 3, 2, 1, and... Okay, right now, you are witnessing what happens when your gun doesn't decide to work with you. That is what we are watching right now. It is by far one of the most irritating situations you can have in Blitz, and it can cause you to get quite mad. Now, I'm not too worried about this 263. He's not a good player, but for some reason he's getting rewarded with playing like a bad player. We got the E100 off to our side, and the 263 is making absolutely monkey plays. So we're going to aim in on that 263. There you go. Nice 600 damage shot into his vehicle. At this point, we now have mediums on our rear because our heavies are not really wanting to do anything. So, this is not looking good for our team. I'm going to be real. Like, this is looking really, really bad for our team. Good news is that player's killed. We're going to aim it on the side of the IS-7. We get a nice pen in. That's the good news. The bad news is that there's a Batchat and T-54 on my side, and the T-54 pens me, and now I'm stuck on this, like, little wall here, which is kind of annoying. But we're not dead, which is obviously very important. Our waffle is pretty dead, though. Let's be real. There you go. Nice HE into that enemy player. Please kill him, Waffle. Please shoot! Shoot the gun! Oh my god. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. This could be a loss. Like, this definitely could be a loss. Got the 54 right in front. We're going to aim in. Tungsten shell low rolls. Really unfortunate. And then my teammate dies. Really, really unfortunate. I'm praying that my 60 TP finishes off this player, which he does. Slightly good. Slightly good. Let's reload. Let's aim in on the T-54. Finish him off. It is now a 3 versus 2. The problem is they got a very healthy E100, who I'm going to try and distract. He doesn't care about me, and he shoots my teammate, which is not good, like, even slightly. I'm going to try and bait a shell from both of these players here. Please. Please shoot at me. Please. Actually, we might be able to, like, no. I was kind of hoping we could drive into cover here and get a nice shot. But unfortunately, it looks like that's not going to be the case. Come on, grill. Shoot at me. Actually, you know what? We might not need the grill to shoot at me. If I back up properly here, we might just be able to use the dead carcass of this player to get a free shot, which we were able to. A very sus shot, but we were still able to get it out. Oh my. Come on, 60. I believe in you, dude. If you can keep that E100 there for 8 more seconds, I might be able to get a shell in, which is obviously very, very important. Okay. That's good news. He's backing up. We're going to chill right here for now. Let's move this dead T-54 a little bit more. Oh, no. That was really important. Oh, my rat. Come on, 60. I believe in you, bro. I can't drive out of cover is the problem right now. If I drive, I am in a really bad situation. I'm really hoping... Oh, come on, come on, come on. Nope. That's really bad. The 60 TP is probably going to end up dying. I don't really know what to do here. Come on, beat him. Okay, the good news is that the 60's not dead. Okay, now he is. That's really bad. Oh, crap. Well, unfortunately, it looks like this game is probably going to be a loss. We got the grill off to the side. We got the IS-7 over here. I just don't really know how to dismantle this situation in a safe way, and the E100 pens me. Yep, that is most likely the end of us. Oh, and it hits the grill's gun! Oh my god. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This was our loss. I can tell you for a fact that if my gun decided to work with me this game, it would have been a win. We still did good. We did 4,300 damage, 2,600 blocked. As I said, our team went mid, and they threw. Our waffle alone could have made a huge impact if he had just shot the bat chat. Our 140, I didn't even know we had an object 140. All of our mediums died. All of our heavies died. Terrible job from our team. And it so easily could have been a win. If that 60 TP had just stayed a little more passive and allowed me to cover him, we would have won. I can very easily show that too. Like, if we go back to this replay here, we go all the way ahead, blah, 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 right? If we go to this moment here, why is my 60 TP sitting here? Why? Just back up this way. Just chill right here. If you chill right here, I can shoot the E100 both angles he pokes you. I can shoot him from here, and I can shoot him from here. You sitting there is literally the worst possible position. I can't cross this to get to you. There's an IS-7 constantly looking at me. Like, bruh. Either way, very easy win thrown by bad RNG, especially those first shots. We had a very long streak of wins, 52 minutes in total, and even though I was quite mad at my gun this game, I can't really complain that much. We won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games in a row, which is pretty dang insane. In fact, I can very quickly take a look at the stats we were able to perform today. If I take a look on Blitz Stars, and we can see just exactly what our stats were. So, here we go. Let's take a look. Scrolling, and today we were able to go 90% win rate, 4,131 average damage, and play 11 games. So, there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I'm going to go take a well-rested nap. Bye-bye.